So, what is the value of art and why is art important?
Um, Without it, I don't know how we can reach our full potential in terms of expression, because I think that our hearts carry many dimensions and of feelings and I don't know that necessarily talking necessarily reaches all of those places. I think that there are some, I mean, I tend to like wordless. I'm not as much of a word person as, for example, my husband. He's a social butterfly. He loves talking. And it's, so for me, if you want to know how I'm feeling, I can tell you with sound more easily than with finding words. Um, and I mean, it creates communities, of course. Those are kind of like the, popular taglines around art. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's a director of a theater here in Englewood, and we were talking about how it creates a sense of leaving time as one is creating and or recreating as I do. And I don't know that animals can have that can suspend time in the way that humans can. And and how do we suspend time? Because in a sense, it's all, we're churning away. Our life has a span. Um, and um, and I guess, we kind of can feel a bit like slaves to time. And so leaving time and um, is, I don't know, I don't want to be, I'm not, I'm not a religious person. I have a community here and all, but it's a connection to, I'll use the word divine with, in a sense, like capital D, but not in a God way. Or if you want to say connects to spirit or something larger than ourselves, something beyond, something ineffable that, I don't know, our day-to-day lives don't have that many opportunities. It's when we're in nature, that's a wonderful way to connect to something larger than ourselves. But the sun's going to set and you have to get home, or you have to set up your tent. Or you have to, I don't know, you understand what I'm talking about. But when I'm practicing, I really don't know. Especially late at night. I don't know if it's 11:30 or 1:30 or I don't know what I leave time, and that's an amazing feeling. So I would say that that's probably true with a painter, or any kind of creator or writer. I mean, if one's in the zone, as we say, we're that's the whole point. We're not in time. So I don't know. That's a magical place to be. And the other thing is that why do we need art? Because I think, I mean, as a performer, I'll speak sort of in a personal biased way. There's a connection that I feel that when I've, right after a performance or even during a performance, there's a heart-to-heart connection that I, in a room in that moment, and it can only be in that moment because it's, and that's also has to do with time. Music is a time-based art, and a painting one can see and see again and go into and kind of, but you know, the music in a live performance is, it's continually moving. And so there, I can play here all I want, but it doesn't really come alive until it's being shared. And it's a sharing that's different than giving somebody a rose. It's a, you know what? The last time I was in Carnegie Hall, I was like, here, there are 3,000 people in this room. And for a particular period of time, we are all in agreement. And as we were talking about before, that's kind of hard to do. We are in agreement about being there in that space for that time to share this music. It's an awesome feeling. And it, so, oh gosh. Sorry. My fancy computer has a phone aspect. Sorry about that. So I think, I mean, you know, we talk about unity, we talk about community, we talk about these things, and it's sort of like sooner or later, they sort of, those words can kind of dilute into like taglines around art and ways of describing art. But I don't know, try and describe how you feel about a particular piece of art or artistic experience that you have. And look at me, how many words do I have to use to tell you something that I wouldn't have to talk about at all? We would just be in the same room and we would feel it. So I hope that sort of answers the question. I mean,
Very much, Carolyn.
we kind of want to sensitize ourselves as much as we can, and there's an impulse for whatever hurts we've carried through life or disappointments or anything to kind of like, you know, want to numb ourselves from feeling too much one way or another. I mean, that's a common phenomenon that you know, I guess it's easier to turn on the TV in a sense, you know, and watch other people feel things, and so, you know, heart opening.